Let's look at the definition of the managerial state from Paul Edward Gottfried, who wrote this book years and years and years ago, After Liberalism, Mass Democracy in the Managerial State. This is from the synopsis of the book on Amazon. It says, in this trenchant challenge to social engineering, Paul Gottfried analyzes apatricide, the slaying of 19th century liberalism by the managerial state. Many people, of course, realize that liberalism no longer connotes distributed powers and bourgeois moral standards, the need to protect civil society from an encroaching state, or the virtues of vigorous self-government. Many also know that today's liberals, quote unquote, have far different goals from those of their predecessors, aiming as they do largely to combat prejudice, to provide social services and welfare benefits, and to defend expressive and lifestyle freedoms. I agree with him. Liberalism is no longer what it used to be. And that is key, because the people who interfered in the election and the people who run the mainstream media and the people who run education, increasingly, they call themselves liberals, but they're not. They're not what the whole Enlightenment liberal was. They have usurped the name liberal. So think of what Joe Biden is rushing to do, as a matter of fact. Make men who identify as women compete directly with biological women in sports. That was one of his top priorities. And the whole trans bathrooms thing is back. BLM is an identity group. Feminists are an identity group. LGBTQ is an identity group. These are the things that the managerial state caters to. Gottfried says that a regime engaged in behavior modification will begin by appealing to unproved premises, which the reader is nudged into accepting. And that would be something like trans women are women. It would be something like that. It would be something like all white people are racist and all white people have advantages over all non-white people. Those are the premises that the managerial state might nudge people into accepting. And then they move on to a therapeutic criteria for right reasoning, which is pretty much liberal dogma, and the deconstructionist mindset. I mean, you know how you try to talk to someone in this progressive/liberal cult, and they have an answer for everything, and the answers contradict each other, but they don't see it. So that's their right reasoning, and they've been at it in the school system and in the media for a very, very long time. And finally, the managerial state will end by reverting to the argumentum ad baculum, which may mean arresting those considered criminally insensitive. The criminally insensitive. Yep. Hate speech laws. And today, you don't necessarily arrest people who are insensitive. You unperson them. You get them kicked off all social media. You actually interfere with their banking and their jobs and their reputations and their families. This is what they do. I think that the definitions and explanations of anarcho-tyranny in the managerial state fit our current circumstances to a T, and not just in this way. I'll probably do lots of videos about this. So what does this, by the way, argumentum ad baculum, that is basically an appeal to the stick rather than the carrot. One participates in argumentum ad baculum when one points out the negative consequences of holding the contrary position. For example, believe what I say or I will hit you.